She left her phone unlocked while in the bath. Her friend asked, "Why are you still with him? You could do so much better." She responded, "I know, but free rent is free rent." I took a screenshot and packed her bags. When she woke up, there were suitcases by the door. Hey viewers, big thanks to everyone who has already subscribed. We're really close to hitting 10,000. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and help us reach that goal. I'm a 36-year-old man and own a 3-bedroom home in a nice neighborhood. I bought it 5 years ago, and the mortgage is manageable. I've set it up just the way I like it. I've been dating Melissa, a 29-year-old woman, for about 14 months. She moved in around month 8 when her lease was up, saying she wanted to test living together before we got more serious. Here's the thing about Melissa moving in. She offered to share the utility bills, but I told her, "Don't worry about that. Just cover your car payment and phone bill. The house is paid off, and the utilities are only about $250 a month." It didn't seem worth splitting hairs over. She seemed thankful and said she would help by cooking more and keeping the place tidy. That lasted about 2 weeks. Melissa has a group of girlfriends who come over every few weeks for wine nights. Usually, I keep my distance, going to a friend's place or working in the garage to avoid intruding on their time. Plus, they can get quite loud and gossipy. Last Friday, they were having one of their gatherings. I was upstairs in my office working on some paperwork when I heard them settling in the living room. Around 8 p.m., Melissa called up to me that she was taking a bath and they were ordering food. That was fine with me since I had invoices to sort through. At around 9 p.m., I needed to grab something from the bedroom. As I walked down the hall, I heard Melissa's phone ringing repeatedly on the nightstand. She was in the bathroom with the door open, music playing, talking to someone. I could clearly hear her side of the conversation. "I know, Amanda. Trust me, I think about it all the time." Then she paused before saying, "Why am I still with him? Honestly, free rent is free rent. Why would I pay $1,800 a month when I can live here for nothing?" My heart sank. I stopped in the hallway and listened. "No, I'm not happy long-term, but I'm saving about $2,200 a month living here. I'd be foolish to give that up without a plan." Another pause. "David, the lawyer from Rachel's party?" "Yeah, he's still interested. Makes around $180,000 and has that condo downtown." I stood there, listening to my girlfriend explain to her friend how she was using me for free housing while planning my replacement. I needed to be smart about this, though, couldn't burn bridges until I had a better place to land. Give me a few more months to work on David. Pause. Trust me, I'm not staying with Mike long-term. He's a decent guy, but he's basic. Electrician money, Olive Garden dates, you know? I want more than that. I could hear her moving in the tub. "Amanda, I'm literally saving enough money to put a down payment on my own place if the David thing doesn't work out. This arrangement is too good to mess up by being hasty." I had heard enough. I returned to my office and sat there processing what I had just learned. 14 months of my life. 14 months of believing we were building something while she was using me as a savings account with benefits. The way she casually discussed burning bridges and needing a few more months was what really got to me. Like I was just some financial stepping stone. I could hear her downstairs with her friends, probably continuing the same conversation in person. Around 11 p.m., her friends left. Melissa came upstairs and got into bed like nothing had happened. "How was your night, babe?" she asked. "Fine, just working on some stuff. The girls and I were talking about taking a trip to Napa next month. Would that be okay? A trip funded by the money she was saving by living in my house rent-free." "Sure, sounds fun." She snuggled up next to me and fell asleep within minutes, probably dreaming about her lawyer upgrade. I lay there until about 2 a.m., then quietly got up and went to the garage. I started pulling out suitcases and duffel bags from storage and spent the next 4 hours methodically packing her things. Clothes from the closet, makeup from the bathroom, books from the living room, everything. I wasn't angry, just focused, as if I was helping her move out, which I guess I was. I packed everything neatly, ensuring nothing was thrown around or damaged. This wasn't about being vindictive. It was about accepting reality. She wanted to find someone better, so she could do it from somewhere else. I left the bags by the front door and went back to bed around 6 a.m. I set my alarm for 7 a.m., the time I usually get up for work. When the alarm went off, Melissa was still sleeping. I got up, showered, and dressed for work like it was any other day. Around 7:30 a.m., she woke up. "You're up early for a Saturday." Got a service call. I headed downstairs, and she followed a few minutes later. That's when she noticed the suitcases. What's all this? Your stuff. Time to go. What are you talking about? I heard your phone conversation last night about free rent being your only reason for staying here. About working on David the lawyer while using me as your savings plan. She went pale. Mike, that wasn't. I was just venting to Amanda. Venting about how basic I am and how you're planning to dump me once you secure your upgrade? I didn't mean any of it. Which part didn't you mean? The part about saving $2,200 a month, or the part about needing a few more months to work on someone better? Mike, please. We can work through this. There's nothing to work through. You've made it clear this is a financial arrangement, not a relationship. Time to find new arrangements. You can't just kick me out. Actually, I can. You're not on any lease, you don't pay rent, and this is my house. You're a guest who's overstayed her welcome. She started crying, but I was past caring about her tears. Where am I supposed to go? Maybe David can help you out, or you can get your own place with all that money you've been saving. This is insane. You're ending a 14-month relationship over a private conversation. I'm ending a 14-month business arrangement because I found out what it really was. I grabbed my work bag and headed for the door. Your stuff is packed. I'll be back around 6 p.m. I'd prefer if you were gone by then. Mike, wait. I closed the door and drove to work, spending the day running wire in a new office building and trying not to think about how long I'd been played. I got home around 6:30 p.m. Her car was gone. The suitcases were gone. The house was quiet. There was a note slipped under my front door. I'm sorry. I never meant for you to hear that. What we had was real to me. Please call me when you're ready to talk. I tossed the note in the trash and ordered pizza, sitting in my living room, which felt peaceful for the first time in months. My phone had been buzzing all day with calls and texts from Melissa. I finally looked at them around 9 p.m. Please don't do this. I made a mistake, but we can fix it. I love you. You're being unreasonable. Answer your phone. This is insane. I blocked her number and settled in to watch TV in my own house that I pay for without someone using it as free housing while looking for my replacement. Update 1. 72 hours later. 3 days since I discovered I was Melissa's savings plan, and the fallout has gone exactly as expected. Thanks for all the comments and support. It's good to see that most people believe using someone for free rent while planning to dump them deserves immediate eviction. Sunday morning brought the first wave of damage control. Around 10 a.m., my doorbell started ringing. I looked through the peephole and saw Melissa standing there with coffee and what looked like bakery bags. I didn't answer. She rang again and then started knocking. Mike, I know you're in there. I brought breakfast. Can we please talk? More knocking. I'm not leaving until we work this out. I went back to my coffee and newspaper. About 20 minutes later, she gave up and left. Sunday afternoon, Amanda called me. Mike, this is Amanda. Melissa's really upset about what happened. I bet she is. Look, she made some stupid comments, but that doesn't mean she doesn't care about you. Amanda, you were the one she was talking to when she explained her free rent strategy. She was just frustrated and venting. She was planning to use me for a few more months while working on her lawyer backup plan. That's not how it was. That's exactly how it was. She told you she was saving $2,200 a month and needed time to secure her upgrade. Mike, please don't throw away a good relationship over girl talk. Good relationships don't involve one person using the other as a financial stepping stone. I hung up and blocked Amanda's number too. Monday brought a new strategy. Melissa showed up at my work site around lunchtime. I was pulling wire in a commercial building when my foreman told me someone was asking for me outside. I walked to the parking lot and saw Melissa standing by her car. Mike, we need to talk. No, we don't. Yes, we do. You can't just end 14 months over a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? You told Amanda you were using me for free rent while looking for someone with more money. I was drunk and being dramatic. You were sober enough to calculate exactly how much money you were saving. That's not why I moved in. Really? Because you told her this arrangement was too good to mess up by being hasty. Some of my co-workers had started to notice the drama. This isn't the place for this conversation. Melissa, I'm working. You need to leave. Not until you listen to me. I listened to you Friday night when you explained your whole strategy to Amanda. That wasn't the real me talking. That was you talking to your friend about your real plan to dump me for someone with more money. Mike, please go work on David the lawyer, but stop showing up trying to fix something you broke on purpose. I walked back to the job site, and she eventually left. Tuesday brought the family intervention. Melissa's sister called me. Mike, this is Kate. I heard about what happened with you and Melissa. Kate and I had always gotten along. She seemed more grounded than Melissa. Hey, Kate. She told me you found out about a conversation and think she was using you. Not think. I heard her explain the whole arrangement to Amanda. Mike, I know my sister. She really cares about you. Your sister told her friend she was saving money living here rent-free while working on a guy who makes $180,000. Long pause. She actually said that word for word. Another pause. Mike, I'm really sorry. I had no idea she was thinking that way. Now you know. That's honestly disgusting. I'm kind of sick thinking about it. That makes two of us. Mike, for what it's worth, I think you're a good guy who deserves way better than this. Thanks, Kate. I appreciate that. Are you definitely done with her? Completely. Good. I love my sister, but this is really messed up. Wednesday brought Melissa's most desperate move. I got home from work to find her sitting on my front porch. How long have you been here? About an hour. You can't just camp out on my property. Mike, please just hear me out. There's nothing to hear. I made a terrible mistake. That conversation represents how you really feel about me. It represents exactly how you feel. You said I was basic and wanted someone with more money. I was just being stupid for 14 months, because that's how long you've been living here rent-free while apparently shopping for upgrades. That's not what was happening. Melissa, you told Amanda you needed a few more months to work on David. How is that not exactly what was happening? She started crying again. I don't want to lose you. You already did. The moment you decided I was good enough for free housing, but not for your future. That's not true. It's completely true. Free rent is free rent. Remember, Mike, I love you. You love my house and my utility payments. There's a difference. Give me a chance to prove that's not true. You had 14 months to prove it. Instead, you proved the opposite. If you don't let me in, I'll have to sleep in my car. That's not my problem anymore. And if you don't leave my property, I'm calling the police. She finally got up and walked to her car, but didn't leave right away. She sat there for about 10 minutes before driving off. I changed my locks that night. I should have done that on Saturday. I haven't heard from her since. Either she finally got the message, or she's working on that lawyer upgrade she mentioned. The house feels like mine again, quiet, peaceful, and nobody's using it as a savings plan while searching for my replacement. Final update. 2 weeks later. Time to close this chapter. It's been 2 weeks since I discovered Melissa's rent-free housing strategy, and the aftermath has played out as expected. After the porch confrontation, Melissa went quiet for about a week. No more surprise visits, no more friend calls, no more family interventions. I figured she either accepted reality or moved on to pursuing her lawyer angle. It turns out it was the latter. Last Friday, I ran into her sister Kate at the grocery store. Hey, Mike. How are you doing? Good, Kate. You? I'm okay. I wanted to give you a heads up about something. What's that? Melissa's been seeing that lawyer she mentioned, David. Fast work. It gets worse. She's been telling people you kicked her out because you were jealous of her success and couldn't handle her independence. Interesting story considering she was living in my house rent-free. I know. I told her she was being ridiculous, but she's committed to this victim narrative. Let her tell whatever story makes her feel better. There's more, though. She's also been saying you were controlling about money and wouldn't let her contribute to household expenses. She never offered to contribute. I told her not to worry about utilities. That's what I figured. Mike, I just wanted you to know in case any of this gets back to you. I appreciate the heads up. Also, this David guy seems like a jerk, very flashy, and talks about money constantly. Sounds like a perfect match. Maybe. But I think she's about to learn that guys with money sometimes have expectations. Sunday brought an unexpected encounter. I was at the hardware store when I saw Melissa in the parking lot talking to some guy in an expensive suit. Must be David. They were clearly having an argument. She was gesturing wildly while he shook his head. Finally, he got in his car and drove off, leaving her standing there. She spotted me walking to my truck and came over. Mike, can we talk? Nothing to talk about. David just broke up with me. Sorry to hear that. I think I made a mistake with you. I mean, you made a lot of mistakes. I know I hurt you, but I was confused about what I wanted. You weren't confused. You wanted someone with more money, and you were using me for free housing while you found him. That's not how I saw it. That's exactly how you described it to Amanda. Mike, I have nowhere to go. My parents are charging me rent, and I can't afford my own place yet. Sounds like you need to budget better. Please, just until I get back on my feet. Melissa, you had a good thing and you threw it away chasing something better. That's on you. I know I was wrong. You were wrong about me being a temporary solution. Turns out I was the good option you didn't appreciate until it was gone. I got in my truck and drove away. Yesterday, Kate called with a final update. Thought you'd want to know what happened with David. I'm curious. Turns out he expected her to quit her job and be available whenever he wanted. When she hesitated, he dumped her. So, her upgrade plan backfired completely. She went from free housing with a guy who treated her well to paying $600 a month to live with our parents while job hunting. She quit her job last month thinking David was going to support her. Now she's scrambling to find something new. That's rough. She's finally starting to realize what she threw away. But she burned that bridge pretty thoroughly. Yes, she did. Mike, I hope you find someone who appreciates what they have. Thanks, Kate. I'm sure I will. The revenge wasn't elaborate or cruel. It was simply the natural consequences of her actions. She wanted to use me for free housing while searching for someone better. When I found out, I simply stopped being used. She thought she was smart playing the field while keeping her housing costs at zero. Instead, she lost her stable situation and the upgrade she was chasing. Now she's back to square one, paying rent and looking for work. Sometimes the best revenge is simply allowing people to experience the results of their own choices. Melissa chose to see our relationship as a financial arrangement rather than a partnership, and now she has to live with that decision while paying market rates for housing.